I've blown Gabriel's horn. Finally, there can be a positive review of All Dogs Go to Heaven 2 for a change. All Dogs Go to Heaven 2, this time not directed by Don Bluth, but by Larry Lurker and Paul Sabella, and is the 1996 sequel to the final great Don Bluth movie ever made, All Dogs Go to Heaven. So All Dogs 2, as I'm going to title it for short, tells the story of Charlie and Itchy embracing their new existence in heaven as angels, until Carface disrupts the peace on heaven by stealing Gabriel's horn and resulting in Charlie and Itchy being sent by Annabelle to retrieve the horn and return it to heaven. Or heaven will be sealed to dogs permanently, but while on Earth, Charlie is torn between his quest for the horn and his love for the show dog Sasha, and his desire to be a guardian angel to a runaway kid, David. Charlie and Itchy have no idea Carface is working for Rez, a demon cat from hell who plots to blow Gabriel's horn to transport the dogs to hell. From what I gather, Don Bluth had zero involvement with this sequel, and you'd think with a new staff making a sequel to a classic, you'd think they'd fuck up, but no. All Dogs Go to Heaven to me is a heavenly and underrated sequel to the original movie. Not better, nor is it on the same level as the original, but still, I don't get the hate for this sequel. Sure, it's a sequel nobody asked for, but sequels nobody asked for don't always turn out bad, and I'd take this movie over the majority of the Land Before Time sequels. So let's get to my positives. The replacement voice actors for Charlie and Carface to me do an even better job than the original voice actors from the first movie. Charlie Sheen is a better Charlie than Burt and Ernest Borgie, the voice of Mermaid Man in SpongeBob. He is a perfect Carface. And the one voice actor from the original movie to reprise his role is Don DeLuise as Itchy, which I'm happy about, as nobody can voice Itchy except Don DeLuise, and there was to me a balance of the old and the new cast in this movie, and Charlie's more likeable in this movie. Sure, he's postponing the quest to return the horn, but it's just because he's loving returning to his home world of the living, and he's discovering love for the first time, and he extremely cares about David and wants to be there for somebody as he was for Anne-Marie. So this movie continues to show how Charlie has fully redeemed himself. Annabelle has a more important role in this movie, how she is consistently notifying Charlie about the importance of the mission. You can feel her impatience and also Sasha. Now some may see her as just Charlie's plain love interest, but she's but she's more of a character than that. I love how she's so kind to look after David, as David may not have lasted on the streets without her, and this movie's antagonist, Red, voiced by Sweeney Todd's actor Georgia Hearn. Red is a far superior villain to Carface. For me personally, Red is one of the most underrated villains in an animated movie ever. He is this is the kind of a villain that the first movie deserved, when he deceives Charlie and Itchy by granting them collars to give them a morsel form just for a day, and he even manipulates Carface into joining him. Carface worked as the secondary antagonist in this movie, and the final battle is such a awesome conclusion to this movie when Red puts the dogs in the cells, and he's taking the prison down to hell. Charlie and his friends are battling him in his huge form. It's as intense as the best final battles in live action fantasy movies. Thank heavens this movie, like its predecessor, is a musical. I adore each of the songs in this movie's soundtrack, from It's Too Heavenly Here, which establishes Charlie and Itchy accepting and loving their life as angels, and also Sasha's song Count Me Out, which is creepy that they sexualize a dog, but it's a soothing and calming melody at the same time, and a awesome entrance for Sasha. And also you have Easy Street where the suns are shining, not a cloud in the sky, which is the funnest song of the movie, where Charlie and David are attempting to gain David popularity as a magician, and you have the love song I Will Always Be With You. The song itself is a gorgeous love song, and the best song in this movie, no contest, is Red's villain song. It feels so good to be bad, so delightful to be a deplorable cad. It's so appealing to have the feeling that what you're doing gets trouble brewing and drives everybody mad. Yep, this is the most underrated villain song I've ever seen, period. I'd say it's superior to even some of the Disney villain songs. I like it better than the shitty villain song from Pocahontas, Mine, yeah. I'm like, it feels so good to be bad when Red performs it. It's literally Satan performing an opera song, and this is why I like Red better than Carface, as Red has a villain song which Carface never does, and I'm afraid, guys, All Dogs Go to Heaven 2 is still a weaker movie than the first All Dogs, so let's get to my negatives. It makes no sense why Charlie would ever trust Carface, his murderer. I'm like, why not just have Charlie and Itchy, bump into Red on their own without Carface's involvement? Then they'd be less suspicious. And also, the romance with Charlie and Sasha, I would have cared for it if it was done right, but it turned out one of the most incredibly forced romances I've ever seen. Literally, they just spend one day together, and all of a sudden, it's an epic love story. And Charlie was forcing himself on Sasha when he first met her, so he kind of looked like a rapist or something. And also with the character of David, I would have liked it better personally if Anne Marie from the first film returned. Where was Anne Marie in this movie? She isn't even mentioned. David is talented, and I feel sympathy for him because his personal life is just the saddest. I guess his parents split up, so his father remarried, and his father and his stepmother are replacing him with some other child. I don't blame David for being pissed off and running away. The movie forces this message: you have to love your stepmother. No, you don't have to love your stepfamily. Not if you don't want to. It's entirely your decision. So David was in the right for running away, but the movie it wants you to believe otherwise. But no, David was in the right. I'm sorry, movie. So yeah, All Dogs Go to Heaven may have some plot inconsistencies, but it's still a underrated sequel to the original that does some minor things better than the original and gets more hate than it deserves. I give All Dogs Go to Heaven 2 4 stars out of 5. Great movie. I'm curious to hear Don Bluth's thoughts on this movie. Fingers crossed he's satisfied. Well, I love you guys. Thank you all for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. And what do you think of All Dogs Go to Heaven 2? And which do you like better, All Dogs Go to Heaven 1 or 2? Please comment and let me know. Please like this video and subscribe. Please try on Twitter and on Google+ and on Instagram. And I'll see you next time when I review The Nutcracker and the Four Realms, which I have extremely low expectations for from what I've heard. And remember, movies are us. Bye, guys.